Does the stock market actually go up when a country wins the World Cup? People have been asking me that exact question for years, always with that hopeful look as if they're about to discover a cheat code for the market. And today, I'm going to give you the real answer, not backed by barroom economics, but by real academic research. And honestly, the real answer is far more interesting than the myth. Here's the twist that's going to surprise most of you. This isn't really a story about winning, it's a story about losing. And by the time this video is over, you'll understand exactly how emotions move markets far more than you're willing to admit, and how professional investors quietly take advantage of that at your expense. Here's where we're going. The first real academic study proving that football results move stock prices using decades of data, while losing hits the market roughly twice as hard as winning helps it. And the fascinating psychology behind that number, what actually happened to real stock markets during this very tournament, and the practical lesson you can start using with your own money beginning today. Stay until the end because I'm going to ask you a question and I genuinely want your thoughts in the comments. Let's begin. Section 1. The myth clearly stated. Alright, let's state the myth exactly the way most people believe it. Your country wins the World Cup, national morale skyrockets, people feel confident. Confident people spend more, invest more, take more risks, and boom, the stock market goes up. It sounds reasonable. It sounds like something a smart person would say over dinner and everyone around the table would nod in agreement. And here's the thing, it isn't completely wrong. There really is research supporting a version of this idea, but the actual mechanism, and especially the size and direction of the effect, is almost the exact opposite of what most people assume. Let me show you. Section 2. The real study. In 2007, 3 researchers, Edmonds, Garcia, and Norley, published a paper in the Journal of Finance, one of the most respected and difficult academic journals in the entire field. They examined more than 1,100 international football matches across 39 countries using decades of data. This wasn't a blog post with a cute chart. It was rigorous, peer-reviewed, serious research. And here's what they found. When a country is eliminated from a tournament like the World Cup, its stock market falls, on average, by about 0.5% on the next trading day. 0.5% may not sound dramatic, but across an entire national stock market, that's literally billions of dollars in market value moving because of a football match, even though the actual earnings of any company didn't change overnight. Section 3. The twist. Losses hit much harder than wins help. Now here's the part that surprised almost everyone, including me, the first time I read this research years ago. That decline after a loss, it's real, it's measurable, and it's consistent across decades of matches. The increase after a win, much smaller, far less consistent, roughly half as powerful as the effect of a loss. Think about that for a second. Losing hurts the market about twice as much as winning helps it. And once you understand why, this stops being a football story and becomes one of the most important lessons in investment psychology. Human beings, as a species, feel the pain of losses far more intensely than the pleasure of equivalent gains. Economists have a name for this: loss aversion, and it appears everywhere in finance, not just in football-obsessed stock markets during a World Cup month. So the honest headline isn't "winning lifts the market." The honest headline is "losing drags the market down while winning barely moves the needle by comparison." That's where the myth quietly gets turned upside down by the real data. Section 4. The yukita la. Why this actually happens, psychology. Now, why would the result of a football match move an entire stock market? None of those companies suddenly earned less money because 11 players lost a match. This is where it becomes genuinely fascinating. The researchers point to investor mood as the mechanism. A painful national defeat leaves millions of investors individually feeling just a little worse. And that mood quietly leaks into decision-making. People in a bad mood become slightly more pessimistic, slightly more risk-averse, slightly quicker to sell instead of hold. Multiply that across enough individual investors all making decisions while feeling just a little worse on the same day, and you get a measurable, market-wide decline, even though absolutely nothing about the underlying businesses has logically changed. There's another effect worth knowing too, a distraction effect. Research from central banks has found that trading volume actually falls significantly while major matches are being played live. Fewer trades happen, less money changes hands, because half the trading floor is literally watching the match instead of their screens. Markets go quiet during the game, then react emotionally the following day. Section 5. What happens when you actually win the entire tournament? Now let's talk about the ultimate prize, not just winning one match, but actually winning the entire tournament. This is where things become even more interesting. And honestly, a bit of a cautionary tale. Research by Goldman Sachs found that the champion country's stock market actually outperformed global markets by an average of around 3.5% during the month immediately following the final. That's real, that's measurable, and it's about as close as this myth comes to actually being true. Since 1974, every World Cup champion has experienced that initial boost, except Brazil in 2002. And that exception doesn't disprove the pattern, it simply reflects a bigger story. A severe recession completely overwhelmed whatever smaller football effect existed underneath it. But, and this is the part that should really get your attention if you're thinking about trading this pattern, that initial boost almost always fades within about 3 months. And here's the twist that really struck me. The same research found that over the following year, those champion markets actually underperformed by roughly 4%. So the complete pattern looks like this: a quick sugar rush immediately after the victory. It fades over the course of a season, then a longer period gives back part of those gains. This isn't a reliable investment strategy, it's a mood swing with a receipt. Section 6. What happened during this actual tournament? Now let's bring this into the present because you're watching this during a real World Cup. And it's worth knowing that this pattern isn't just historical trivia. Past tournaments have produced genuinely dramatic examples. During one recent World Cup, a major global stock index declined by several percentage points over the course of the knockout rounds alone. Now I want to be careful here and give you an honest, professional warning. Correlation is not causation. Many real economic forces move alongside the tournament completely independently of it. But the pattern of lower trading volume during major matches, mood-driven declines after painful eliminations, and quick fading rallies after major victories keeps showing up again and again, tournament after tournament, decade after decade. Section 7, the real practical lesson for your money. Here's the part I really want you to take away. Because this entire topic is a fun conversation starter, but it's also a genuine warning about your own behavior as an investor. If an entire country's stock market can move measurably because of a football defeat, purely through mood, what do you think your own bad mood does to your personal investment decisions on an ordinary Tuesday? You receive bad news, you're stressed, you're worried about something completely unrelated to your portfolio, and suddenly you make an emotional decision to sell something that has absolutely nothing to do with the actual fundamentals of what you own. This research isn't really about football. It's hard evidence that emotion quietly moves money, even the money of professional, supposedly rational investors on a massive scale. The practical lesson is simple. Never make a major financial decision during the same hour you're experiencing an emotional high or an emotional low. Sleep on it. The market doesn't care how your national team played last night. And your portfolio shouldn't either. Closing. Strong, warm, direct engagement. So here's the real scoreboard behind the myth. Losing an elimination match knocks roughly 0.5% off the losing country's stock market the next day. That's real. That's measurable. Winning, by comparison, barely moves the needle. Losses hit about twice as hard as gains help. Actually, winning the entire tournament does produce a real, short-lived rally. But it usually fades and often reverses within about a year, and underneath all of it, the real driver isn't football, it's human emotion quietly steering decisions that are supposed to be rational. Now I have a question for you, and I genuinely want your answer in the comments. Have you ever realized that your mood, a bad day, a bad week, actually influenced a financial decision that had absolutely nothing to do with the reason you were in that mood? Be honest, I read every single comment, and I promise you're not alone. And one more question, just for fun. If your own country won this tournament, would you actually change anything in your investment portfolio the next morning? Or would that be exactly the mistake we just talked about? Leave your honest answer below. If this gave you a different way of thinking about emotion and money, subscribe, because that's exactly what we do here. We take the myths everyone repeats and go straight to the real data underneath them. I'll see you in the next video.